right, gonna keep rolling. Almost done. The back is gonna be a much more simplified version of this. I've got my 10. I'm going to go ahead and make that beaker so you can see it pretty well, what I'm doing with it. I'm gonna make the fill white here. Okay, and I kind of like this gradient theme I've got going on here, so I'm actually going to switch to the gradient tab. And I have to make that a shape before I can do that, so I'm going to go down to Create Outlines. Now it'll let me do that. It basically just turns your text into a shape. And I actually don't want the pink, I want the white. So I'm going to go to my gradient palette, which is currently not showing. Either that or it's hiding somewhere. Oh, it's on my other desktop. Of course it is. So let's drag that on over here. Double click and make that white. Actually, that looks kind of cool. Let's see how that looks. It's a little too transparent for my liking. Let's bump up the opacity a little bit. I'm going to add a stroke just because I want to, just to see what it looks like. I don't want a gradient on my stroke though. Just a plain white stroke, please and thanks. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, kind of like that. So we're going to center that, shrink it down, and just kind of visually eyeball how that needs to fit inside the diamond. And I might drop the opacity a little bit. Just a little bit. Down to 56. That's too much. Let's shoot for 80. Let's see what 80 looks like. That's a little less in your face. I'm feeling like my design is almost balanced, but there's something that needs to be done here. I think I'm going to add the denomination. So I'm just going to do a couple rectangles in white, not in the gradient. 1, boop, 2. Actually, I can duplicate that later. And I'm going to come in with my text. Type in 10 doll hairs. And this is going to be cool. You guys will enjoy this. So if you remember from PAMC, there's a pretty neat thing you can do with text. So we're going to drag this over top here. We're going to send the text behind, object, send back, select them both. I'm going to go to object, envelope distort. We're going to make with the top object. Watch what happens. It turns into the shape of the object. But that's not what I wanted to do. I actually wanted to do a cutout. So let's play around a little bit more. I'm just thinking. This is what I get for building the plane as I'm flying it. Let's go ahead and transform that to fit my rectangle. And I can adjust the vertical tracking or the vertical scaling on this by coming over here and showing more of my options. Vertical scaling is right about here, so we're actually going to pump up that. Woo! There we go. And to turn my text into an object in a different way, I'm going to hit Command, Shift, O. That turns all of my letters into an object. Command G to group them. And now we're just going to minus front and see if I can get that cutout I want. Yes, I can. 10 doll hairs. And we're going to put that right around here, but I'm going to drop the opacity. That seems like a little too much. So that either needs to be smaller or a different color. So Command C, Command F to paste in front. Yeah, I like that. So now let's talk about the back side. The back side should be related to the front in stylistic choices. So I'm actually going to copy some of the elements that I have over here and repeat them over here. I can just hit Option and drag them too. That would be cool. And I'm actually going to play around a little bit with the arrangement of these and reflect these back. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to put this down here just to see. And we're going to play around with the vertical type tool. So we're going to come here and type in 10 in big capital letters. And we're going to do that in the pink swatch so you can see it a little bit better. Apparently I lost my 10. Where did it go? We just don't know. All right, let's go back to vertical type. There we go, 10. Now the tracking on this is way too much, so I'm going to bump that closer together. Let's do something like, nope, 25 is still too squished in my humble opinion. Let's see what the vertical scaling is on that still. That's what it is. Let's take it back to 100%. That looks much better. Let's switch to our money pink as we keep things consistent. Goodbye swatches. And drag this on over. Want it to fit in here. Ooh, I like that. And I'm actually going to swap the fill and the stroke. Look at that. That looks spiffy. I like that. And a couple other things we need to have on here. I think those blocks are a pretty important element of my design. So I'm going to option and drag those over. Again, consistency. Work smarter, not harder. A couple other things you need to have on your currency designs. You need to have your country. You need to have a serial number. So let's find a place to put that serial number. We're going to put it right down in the corner. So just make up a couple digits. We're going to make that white. And once again, guess what we're going to do? We're going to drop the opacity. We're going to do it. And play around with the layout here. That is not opaque at all anymore. Don't like that. Why aren't you opaque? Why aren't you obeying my commands to be opaque? Or transparent, rather. Unsure. Shrink that down. This is apparently the day where I just ride the struggle bus. There we go. I think 44% is pretty good. Let's see. I need my need my serial number on there twice, apparently. I'm just looking at the requirements for currency. And that needs to be a touch smaller. So we're going to Command C, Command F, and put that. Why this? There we go. Put that up there. And something we glossed over on the front, we don't have the year of our lovely, lovely doll hairs. So I'm going to go ahead and create a couple diamonds. One. It's hard to make uniform squares, okay, guys? It's just hard. We're going to rotate. And I'm probably going to do another cutout business here, but we'll see. Drop that down. Still a little bit too large for my liking. Oh, I just rounded it. That can be useful, but not what I'm after here. And I'm going to take my text. Get right up in there. Doesn't matter what color I'm gonna do actually, yes, it does. We're gonna do the text in those swatches, and I'm not actually gonna do the cutout. Now let's try this. And it is the year of our Lord 2021. Good Lord. Let's go ahead and yoink that. If you click on two objects, guys, you can center them together. Isn't that nice? And we're going to drop the opacity on that there rectangle to probably like close to 30-ish to match over here. And I actually really like where that's sitting. I'm going to copy these two elements, drag it on over. No, not allowed. Command C, Command F. And I'm going to change that to say USA, USA. Use USA, USA. And I'm going to zoom out and take a look at my design. I think that's pretty hot. I like it. I think I need a border on my little rectangles here, so I'm going to do another offset path here. Nope, that's not what I needed to do. It's been a day, my friends, and it's only 10:42. There we go. We want to go inside. Okay. That's a lot. That's a little too close for my liking, so we're going to make that number smaller. Let's try 0.05. That's still too close. I like that. I'm into that, actually. Super into that. We're going to turn a stroke on, though. Yes. Yes, give me my stroke. And same thing over here. Object. Path. Offset path. Okay. Yeah, guys. I think we're done here. So go ahead and try your hand at that particular design. Export it as JPEGs, please. And throw that in your folders.